I shaved. I look like a young buck again. 14 years old. Just kidding. I look at least 15. So I've gotten a couple emails in the last, I don't know, 3-4 weeks, all around the same subject. And it's a very, very good subject to discuss. And the question is like, basically like, I'm having trouble with a particular issue. And, I believe in these principles. I've had success with these principles, but with this one particular issue or this one avenue in my life, I'm having difficulty manifesting what I want to desire. Manifesting what I desire. And so often, I would say, generally speaking, people are looking to improve their lives or to manifest better things in their life in three main, avenues. One being health, one being like finances, like wealth, and the last being relationships, like SP and love and just better relationships in general. So health, wealth, and love, right? I mean, those are like the three general things. And what we see a lot in what some of these emails have pertained to is that we have success in like a couple of these areas, but then we don't have as much success, or we have a lot more difficulty in one of the areas, or we're really good at one area, but we're not good at the other two. For instance, like we might be very good at having good health, and whatever health problems we have, we're able to, heal them usually relatively easily. And we're even able to help other people heal, but we might have financial issues or financial lack, or relationship lack. And, it goes vice versa too. It could be for any of these three. Often we have more gaps in one of the avenues than in the other two. Or we're stronger suited at getting things we want and manifesting things for ourselves and others in one of these avenues than the others. So the email I received yesterday, which was along the lines of the other emails I've received recently, basically was asking like, what do you do when you have trouble in one of these avenues? Like yesterday, it was like the love one, like the romantic one, like you have problems with relationships. And so, yeah, let's look at this big picture. My wife might come out any minute because she needs the car. But big picture, quick summation. My advice, practical advice, like the advice I gave yesterday, is do a success indicator for 30 days for 30 minutes each day and see what happens. That is a very, quick way to shift how you feel about this issue. Because as we've been discussing a lot lately, I'll put one link above, the success indicator of W. Clement Stone. If you do something like that, if you genuinely do that every day, especially if you spend like a half an hour on it each day, and you don't have to spend a half an hour, you can spend 5 minutes, you can spend 15 minutes, but if you invest a half an hour every morning or evening doing a success indicator and contemplating imaginatively and being honest with yourself about your behavior in regards to what you want, you're going to see shifts. But more big picture wise, I guess, not talking about a specific technique, my advice is to go general, and I'm a huge believer in going general. I have no problem with people going specific at all. If going specific with what you want and what you desire works for you, please do it, and don't go general unless you want. But for me in my own life, I've always found that going general is the way that these, manifesting, law of assumption, law of attraction principles work best for me. And I also see that generally speaking with the people I work with. I'm a huge proponent of going general, unless you like going specific. And something that just came to mind this morning is one of the quotes that I read a month or two ago from that Richard Dott's book, Banned Money Secrets. I'll put the link above for that as well. He's got all these points at the end that kind of summate the banned money secrets, right? The quote is this quote does not just apply to finances. He talks about money stories in this quote, but it could also be your health stories, or it could be your relationship stories. He says, giving up your money stories involves substituting your worries and fears about money with nothing. That's a fucking profound line. He says, substituting your fears and worries, whether it be health, whether it be relationships, whether it be wealth, substituting those fears and worries with nothing, or the void. He also says the void. Give up your stories that worry and make you fearful and replace them with nothing. The peace that passeth understanding. The perfection, the neutral perfection of this moment. This is very similar, if not the same thing, to the absolute method that we were recently discussing, that we talk about all the time. The reason that I advocate for the absolute method so often is because that's going general in the best sense. The absolute method is God is here right now. You say the universe is here right now, or the present moment is here right now, and there's nothing to fix. And if you recognize that, you cannot recognize fear and worry at the same time. You can't recognize your concerns about your health situation or your relationship situation or your money situation if you recognize God right now. You can't do both at the same time. And this is a practice, obviously a continual practice, but going general in this big picture way for the issues that are that you struggle with, whether they be health, wealth, or relationships, is usually the way to do it, in my opinion. And what that can look like on a more micro level is doing a success indicator alongside that every day. But keeping in mind God is now and God is perfection and everything is all right in this big picture general way. That's basically my approach that I utilize. And you can fine tune it and, work it in different ways to your likings given the day or week or month. Sometimes I'll put more visualization into that, like when I'm vibing with God. Sometimes I'll implement more visualization because I want to. Sometimes I'll go to my quiet room, like Maxwell Maltz talks about, But any way you can, again, to quote Richard Dotts, give up your money stories or give up your health stories or give up your relationship stories and substitute those stories which worry and make you fearful, substitute them with nothing. You don't have to replace them with something better. And again, you can. You certainly can. You can think about something better if that makes you feel good. To think about a specific end result, which is the opposite of the result you're getting right now, right? And Neville and Joseph Murphy, people like that, speak about that so articulately. But you can also just go general in this way and substitute it with nothing. Replace it with nothing. Replace it with the void. And I'm hesitant to use that word void, even though I like how Dotts uses it, because it's so misused in the LOA community and people sound like morons when they use it. The void state. The void state doesn't exist. It's not like that. But nothing is right now. The void is right now, right? And that's peace. That's the peace that passeth understanding. So for the people who have written me in recently with questions about this, about persistent things they've wanted to manifest, whether it involves their health, relationships, or money, and that they've had continual trouble manifesting, I think that practically speaking, you can use a success indicator every night for a while to see a shift. And more big picture wise, I would suggest going general. And when I say go general, I mean stop thinking about your problem and think about God instead. Or to quote or paraphrase Richard, give up your stressful, fearful stories and substitute them with nothing.